brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Wheeler and Ollie with you on your Monday morning. No Lecter partied too hard this weekend at a college friend's wedding. Ain't that always the case?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for being here.
It's the least I could do.
It is. No, I mean, the least you could do is nothing. This is a half-hearted effort if I ever saw one.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome to the show. It's a crisp Monday morning. So crisp, in fact, that on our computer there is no temperature rating.
It's 6 degrees.
6 degrees. We're getting there. I was hoping to go out to the Cameron Falls yesterday. It was a little too crisp yesterday. I stayed in. But I had rehearsal. And then, I took the dog for a nice walk.
A little too crisp.
It was
like 12 degrees.
No, but in the morning, we were going to go at 7 a.m. And at 7 a.m., legitimately, it was 2 degrees and a nice breeze.
Okay.
It was pretty gross.
Okay.
I hope everyone had a great weekend. How did you spend your weekend, Ollie? Working?
Mostly.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's election season. That'll happen.
That's right.
I also moved the drum kit into this building.
Into your building?
No, into Cabin already.
Why?
Because I wanted somewhere else to play it with a
Where
bit
is
more room.
Where is it?
Nah.
What?
Nah.
Huh?
I'm not telling you.
What?
In case AJ kicks it back out.
We have 4 rooms. It's going to be...
I've got a cunning plan.
I've got a cunning plan, do you? All right. Now, do they have deafeners, the deafeners on them, or do you just play them full bore?
It's an electronic kit, so you can
it's an electronic kit. That's right.
I've got headphones on, and you can just hear the dull thudding of someone who's bad at playing the drums.
That sounds entertaining.
It's great for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Less so for everyone
I
else.
just installed a piano in one of our rooms. So
did you?
Now we've got...
Look at us, we're musical.
That's right. Hire us for a band.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the Cabin, Wheeler and Ollie with you on your Monday morning. A little bit of pay it forward stuff going on over the weekend here in Yellowknife. Pretty small stuff, and I've seen it happen before, but I saw 3 different posts this weekend about people in the Timmy's line getting to the window. They got their order already, and it's already been paid for, and that's nice. I like to think about that. I like it when people pay for my coffee. It's never happened to me. I've paid it forward a couple of times. And I'm just saying, but it's never happened to me.
A grumpy and self-absorbed approach to pay it forward.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be grumpy or self-absorbed at all. No. It is always interesting when you project that onto me.
That's just what I heard.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, but I've done it a couple times at Tim Hortons because it's a common thing. It's been at a Starbucks. It kind of trends a little bit. But this weekend, our own K-Mac and our own J-Bear had separate experiences where somebody had paid for their stuff.
So presumably, though, all of these must end with someone who
not getting paid for.
Who gets there and is like, oh, sweet, and then busted.
Yeah. Okay. Well, admittedly, I've done it a couple times, and I've gone up and just for whatever reason, I was just I'll just pay for the next person, and I'll always check to see what it is. You know what I mean? I'll be like, what did the person behind me order? They're like, a coffee and a donut. I'll take care of that. That's fine. But if I get up there and it was oh, somebody paid for your coffee. Oh, that's so cool. Well, you know what? I'll do the same thing. What did they order? Well, they ordered 3 biscuit sandwiches, 2 dozen donuts, and a whole thing of coffee. I'd be
what did the guy,
you know what?
What did the guy behind them order?
That person. Well, they haven't ordered yet. Well, I guess I gotta go.
Here's $5.
Here's $5. Just keep it. That's fine.
But someone is turning up in the middle of this line.
That's
and
right.
being like, oh, sweet, thanks for that. Bye.
Someone is a total jerk.
Hopefully, on the other hand, there is a percentage chance that person is the kind of person who genuinely needed that to happen.
That's right.
Didn't have a whole lot of money.
Absolutely.
And that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
However, there is also a percentage chance that the person who is driving away with the free, the only one in this whole line, the only human being getting any benefit out of this, because the rest of you just paid for someone else's, so it's the same as paying for yours, if not slightly more.
Yep.
The only person getting a benefit from this is the guy in his massive truck who rolls through. And it's like, oh, sweet. This morning I also get a free coffee for being me.
Oh, God, for having this sweet truck. I would say that the percentage of people who don't need it, who do not continue to pay it forward, is higher than that person who's saying, hey, this is the only time maybe this week or this paycheck that I get to have a treat for myself. Order a big fat double-double and a couple of donuts. Right. And maybe that's their treat.
Exactly.
I don't think that person is the higher percentage.
I think the irony for me is I imagine most people in the situation you've just described, where like a free coffee would actually make a little bit of a difference, those are probably the people who will work quite hard to try to make sure that they can still pay it forward anyway.
Yes.
So, I don't really know what my argument here is. What is my argument
You
here?
seem to be arguing against yourself.
I think I'm arguing that we don't pay it forward because we're all horrible people.
No.
Which is an odd argument.
That seems like a me argument. It feels like you're taking that one from me, and now you've just handicapped my argument.
Well, we've ruined everything.
Continue to pay it forward if you can. I mean, it's a nice gesture. It's a nice thing to, in the morning, you get up to the window and you're like, you know what, your coffee's been paid for. They're like, hey, that's nice. And then just drive away. But again, I mean, it does depend on what the next person ordered.
Nobody ever pays it forward anywhere that I could really use that.
I
have never sat down at the Black Knight and been told, hey, here's a menu. Oh, and by the way, you see that guy just walking out over there? Yeah, he paid it forward.
I have had that happen to me before.
At the pub?
At the pub. I had, I think it was you. I think you did it. You didn't really pay it forward. You just left the table while we were all hanging out, and we were all like, oh, we'll get the check. And it's like, it's already been taken care of.
I did do that.
You've done it. On the company's dime. But still, very cool. Very nice stuff. I mean, that's always a nice thing to do. It's a nice surprise. But yes, I would like to see that going into Northland Utilities or getting that Northwest Hill bill where it's just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's already been taken care of. Like, you paid it forward for my $400 power bill. I'm not going to pay yours. No.
Yeah. I got $1,200 in Netflix overages this month. Nobody's paying that forward.
Oh my goodness. Here's the thing. Reach out for a person in their time of need. Phoenix and I are going to go over our internet allotment this month for sure. We're already at 150 gigs for our 200 because we downloaded Borderlands 3. So if you'd like to give to the Phoenix and Jesse Internet Fund, you can do that.
This is not what GoFundMe's are for, Jesse.
I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure if I want to live my best life, that I'm going to need to beg strangers on the internet for it. So, by the way, Borderlands 3 is pretty awesome so far. A little glitchy, but you should still pick it up. You play Borderlands 3? Does your mom?
No, I don't think so, no. I think that's one of hers.
Fair enough. Well, if you get a chance to pay it forward at the Timmy's line, go for it. It'll make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside until it happens to you, and then you can't pay for someone else's. And it all becomes equal again.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Sarah's kind of skulking around. Do you want to join us? Do you want to sit down and join us, Sarah? She's got no sock on her mic.
Yeah, you're going to be. You have a naked microphone over there. I mean, you can still use it.
There we are.
Hi.
Oh, there we are. Very good. So what we this is a story that broke last week, and we want to talk about it. We just didn't get around to it. The city of Winnipeg. After a very long investigation, the city reviewed 80,000 documents, 1,500 daily work inspection sheets, and reviewed 63 employee files and interviewed nearly 100 staff as part of this investigation, and fired 8 people, suspended 7 after this internal probe into what they're calling slacking.
Whoa. City
employees slacking, thieving time, and giving fraudulent mileage quotes.
All right, but this would have to have been quite some slacking. Like, what are we talking about here? Give me an example of what one employee must have done.
Well, okay. So it caught several. This probe stemmed from a private investigation. So the city of Winnipeg launched a private investigation after several employees are caught on camera making personal shopping trips, running errands, and taking extended lunch breaks during work time.
I do all of those on a regular basis.
Everybody does, especially if they're in a work vehicle, and especially if like they're rolling around downtown. It's like, I got to stop at the bank and I got to stop at the post office. I'm going to just do it now. We'll call it my break.
So hang on, what were the 3 again? So personal shopping trips.
Purple shopping trips, running errands, and taking extended lunch breaks during work time.
I feel like a lot of Yellowknifers are going to be in quite some difficulty if that is considered like slacking, warranting dismissal.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I've worked for the city on 2 separate occasions, and now when I made a run to Timmy's without telling anybody, I was disciplined for that. I was told to get the F back to work. So there was that. I was a summer student at the time. I was a summer student job placement at the time, working for
Just
working for facilities.
Purely out of interest on this, how many times have you been disciplined by an employer?
Oh, plenty. Oh, my goodness. How many times? I've only been actually written up twice, and that was at the dinner theater. So,
okay.
But other than that, I've been fired.
What did you do
I've been fired 3 times. Oh, well, we got in an argument. We got in a yelling match with a coworker one time backstage, and the other time I was just late too many times. I would just show up whenever the hell I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it making you uncomfortable? Have you been disciplined a ton of times?
No, I've never been disciplined. I'm getting like secondhand,
secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like
You've never been disciplined at work?
No, why would I do anything wrong?
Well, I mean, arguably, I didn't do anything wrong. I was in a yelling match, but it wasn't my fault. Yes, I mean, this made me laugh because if there was an internal investigation into slacking in any city employees, I imagine that's how it would go. As city employees are usually unionized, so I mean, there's things you can kind of get away with. I'm not saying everybody's slacking, but when I worked for the city, there was definitely some of that going on.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
So these people are getting.
Pardon me. I'm telling you that I was doing those things, not anybody else. I should just clear that up. When I was working for the city, I was definitely making personal shopping trips, running errands.
Okay. I doubt that it was only you.
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. So here at Cabin Radio, obviously we have a work environment where we don't care that much
a little bit more
about
casual.
those things. People are welcome to come and go during their day. If they need to get stuff done, go and get it done. I feel like that makes all the employees healthier, happier, and
it does.
Generally gives them more chance to live their lives and feel good about where they work.
It absolutely does. And if you've ever worked for the city, a lot of times when there are projects or things like that, there's not a lot of push. It's just like, we'll just get this done whenever we get it done. And then if you start in the middle of working something, then you get pulled off to do something else, and things just kind of fall by the wayside. It kind of happens.
Government-y way of
it is.
life.
It's a very bureaucratic way of doing things, and that's just how it goes. So there is a lot of that going on when I was working there. Again, only me, not saying it about anybody else, but there was definitely that.
I feel like it's not... whether you go out shopping or take long lunch breaks alone should not be the determinant of whether you are slacking or not. If you are doing all of those things and
not
nothing
getting your
is
work
getting done,
there it is.
Then out the door.
So
if you're taking a 3-hour-long lunch break, but the reason you took your 3-hour-long lunch break is because you did everything that morning that needed doing and you're way ahead of the game, then I'm sorry, you're not slacking. You're just really good at it.
That is where we get to the other crux of this argument from the city of Winnipeg, which sounds just like an exasperated parent. Unfortunately, what we've discovered was even more than broken trust. It was also theft. Oh, okay. Then that's where it gets interesting. Oh, theft. Okay, they were stealing.
Yeah, theft.
Theft in the form of time.
Oh, come on.
Time theft, which is... I'll say it again, late-stage capitalism nonsense. Time theft. Again, if I work an 8-hour day, but I get all my work done in 3 hours, and then I slack off for those last 5 hours, that's not time theft. That's me using my time better than anybody else. Mind you, in the entire history of my work experience, that has never happened. That has never, ever, ever, ever happened. But I know, I can imagine somebody finishing all their work within a few hours and just being like, I have nothing to do. I'm going to sit here and do whatever, work on something else. That's not time theft. And time theft is just such a ridiculously insane notion because we are boiled down to what our labor value is. And if we are not working every minute of every hour, companies consider that theft, which makes... Ooh, that just dehumanizes people, doesn't it?
I haven't got headphones on. Is the socialist anthem that you were going to play playing now underneath this? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, as long as someone's buying me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I thought
maybe we'd be hearing the sounds of old Soviet soldiers marching.
Okay, we know that there's a difference between that and what I'm talking about, right? Okay, we're not going to go, all socialism is just Russia and China and, those other guys. But, I thought that was pretty funny. 80,000. Okay, here's the thing. How much did this review cost? is it must have the time theft must have outweighed how much it cost to review 80,000 documents, 1,500 daily work inspection sheets, and 63 employee files, well, including nearly 100 interviews.
It would have been done quite a lot quicker, and it would have cost a lot less, but the guy doing it took quite a few long lunches.
That's right.
And had a lot of shopping to do.
He was going on personal shopping trips. What a thief. A thief of time. Oy, explain that one to the boss. City of Winnipeg, take it easy.
Scenes from the cabin.
No, not good! Stop! Not good! What are you doing? You burned all the food, the shade, the rum!
Yes, the rum is gone.
Why is the rum gone?
1, because it's a vile drink that turns even the most respectable men into scoundrels. 2, that signal is over 1,000 feet high. The entire Royal Navy is looking for me. Do you think there is the slightest chance they won't see?
But why is the rum gone?
Just wait, Captain Sparrow. You give it 1 hour, maybe 2, and you'll see white sails on that horizon.
Oh, must have been terrible for you to be trapped here, Jack. What it bloody is now!
Scenes from the cabin.
Know the movie? Submit your guess to mailbox@cabinradio.ca or send us a message on Facebook for your chance to win gift certificates to some awesome Yellowknife restaurants, including Zehabesha, the Monkey Tree Pub, the Woodyard Eatery, Copper House Restaurant, and Java Roma. Listen to Cabin Radio every weekday to win, or download the Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Koke Spoken Word and Music Festival coming up this weekend at NACC. It is on tour. It has been on tour for the last week or so, but hitting Yellowknife on the 20th and the 21st, and the stars of one of those acts are right here. You're listening to one of them now. Also, I have Gail Sear to my left and Ollie Williams across from me. We will be a part of the Spoken Word and Music Festival coming up on Friday night starting at 7:30. Also that night, Cliff Cardinal will be sharing some stories, and it's going to be a fantastic night. I can't wait. This thing has been kind of in development for a while, and it's basically how this kind of started is, well, Mom, you, this is my mother, by the way, so I'm going to say Mom. Gail, Lady Sear, tell us how this all kind of came about.
Well, we've been actively involved in trying to get Indigenous stories out,
of course.
In different formats and in different ways on stage.
And this is one of the big ones is the Koke Spoken Word Festival. Yeah.
Yes, it is, and we have to thank Marie Cordair and the board of NACC for really encouraging Indigenous stories to get on stage. Mm-hmm. And I am really honored to have been able to have been asked to present some of my stories. And your stories too, Debbie.
Yes, I am going to be part of this, and Ollie will moderate.
Yes, Ollie will moderate.
So how this is going to kind of play out is we're going to kind of play it out like an interview right here in Studio One.
Yeah.
You're going to talk story. I'm going to talk story. Ollie will ask questions to kind of like jog some memories and keep that flow going. Because
it's a real issue so far.
Yeah. That's right. Thank you, Ollie, for your interjection. But just kind of keep those stories flowing because you've got. You've got so much history here in Yellowknife. You've been here for 45 years. Yes. Sorry, you've been here for 15 years. You're 45 years old.
I wish.
No, I don't wish. You have had some amazing experiences here, and I'm looking forward to hearing some more of these stories. Obviously, I've heard a lot of them throughout my life, but your history here and how Yellowknife has changed, the challenges therein, and raising a brilliant son in the middle of all of this.
Raising a son was the real challenge.
Yes, I was going to say. So, without giving, we don't want to give too much away because we do want people to come.
We want you guys to pay for this.
That's right. NACC.ca for tickets coming up on Friday. Just kind of give us an idea of how you started here, what brought you to Yellowknife, and we'll kind of go from there.
Well, what brought me was having difficulty finding jobs in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And of interest and of something, a barmaid and I, waitress and things like that. But I was looking for something more challenging and more authentic for myself. I came up here. My first job was in Gold Range.
Of course.
We all start there. All good women start there. And it was in hot pants and high heels.
Yep.
And
which is exactly how it is today.
Hundreds of miles. I can say hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
every week that we walked those doors. If you weren't in at 4:00, you weren't going to get in until maybe at supper time.
Yeah.
And if you didn't come in shortly after supper, you weren't going to get in at all.
Wow.
So you always had to have a spotter, a table spotter. And it was amazing. We had a wedding there one time, and I was able to go in and, luckily enough, be able to reserve 10 tables and at least one big jug of draft beer on each one. And I waited for the wedding party to come in, and they did, and we all had a lot of fun. But it was where it was the great equalizer of the day, because everybody from the commissioner, everybody was there.
Yeah. And that's why it was one of the most famous places in the world at the time. And at that time was like the highest consumption of alcohol per capita on the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, or at least it claimed to be. So from that very, very, very small beginnings, you spent a couple of months working as a waitress at the Gold Range.
Yes, I ended up having a full-time day job. So doing full-time days and being called in almost every night. That lasted for a little while, but I had to leave.
Okay.
So, because I couldn't get on full-time.
Yeah.
But because I had full-time waitresses. But it just seemed that I was being called in often.
Of course.
Where the boss would actually pick me up at work, drive me home, so I could get changed so I can hit the floor.
We all started somewhere.
Yes.
And then through there, I'm not going to say alderman, councillor, deputy mayor, alderman. At the time, it was.
I was prepared to call myself alderman.
Alderma'am.
Yes.
Absolutely. Alderperson. Yeah. You spent how many years? How many years in city council?
I was about near 10.
Near 10 years in city council. Deputy mayor at one point.
Acting mayor at another point.
Acting mayor at another point.
Yes.
I mean, ran for mayor. And
didn't make that one.
Didn't make that one. You know what? Good. I'm glad you didn't become mayor. Not glad, but I mean, I don't know. That would have been a lot at the time. I feel like
it would have been really busy.
Yeah,
it would have been really busy, and you were pretty young, so
I was.
Yeah,
I was very young, impressionable, and having your parents in city council as the mayor in a corrupt city like this. No, I'm joking. That's a joke. That's a joke. But
moderation here is going to be a real difficulty, I can see.
I mean, you should keep us on point because we can get lost in a lot of stories.
Another story, Jesse, about sort of when I first ran and I was canvassing.
Yeah.
Everybody was telling me is that, you know what? It's all going into people's pockets. You're all bought off. You're all paid off. So
it's still that way.
So the first meeting, when we were having our meeting and training and everything, and so we had these lessons of procedure and policy and everything. And so the question was asked, are there any other questions?
Yeah.
I put up my hand. And Pat McMahon, who was deputy mayor at the time, she said, yes, Alderman Sear. And I said, well, all the time I was canvassing, I heard that people were being paid off and there was money in their back pockets. And so I want to know, I never got any. And I want to know if I was being discriminated against. You could hear a pin drop on the carpet.
Absolutely. I mean, if all this money's going around, I'd like some of it, for goodness sake. Well, it's still. I think a lot of people still think that most of these people are bought off, or have somebody in their back pocket, or are, trading on someone else's dime or something like that, or are part of some sort of Pentecostal cult. Won't name names. We are obviously owned by the Chinese and part of the cabal here in Yellowknife. So everybody's got someone to answer to. Ollie, anything to add?
The thing that excites me about this, so this show is NACC, Friday night, 7:30, is I'm excited to explore what it was like to grow up here through both of your lenses, if you like. I can't wait to hear more about your childhood, that's for sure, Mr. Wheeler, with the world's leading authority on your childhood, who is in the studio with us.
Yeah.
And Gail as well, you growing up and you moving here and the journey that you've made, sort of, which kind of came to a head this summer, and I'm not going to give that away to people, but if you come and listen to us on Friday night, you get to hear this amazing journey that all comes to a head this summer and comes back to its beginnings that you've been on as well. Mm-hmm. And I think it's, for someone like me who has not been in Yellowknife that long, it's going to be very cool to just get to sit down and listen to what it's like to have this city shape your life. And that is what excites me about this Friday night. And the fact that I'm going to have to say 9 words in 45 minutes, because I really don't think that the moderator role here is going to be a particularly stressful one. My issue is more going to be waving a massive checkered flag at 45 minutes to try to get everybody to slow down and leave the stage.
I think at one point I'm just going to give my mom a look and we'll just go silent. Just to throw you off a little bit. Just go like, oh.
Yes,
and then look at you
filler, Ollie.
and wait for something. I absolutely am looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Some great stories to be shared. And yeah, it's coming up on Friday night. NACC for tickets. The Coca East Spoken Word and Music Festival. Myself, my mother, Gail Sear, and Ollie will be there for the 7:30 part. And then right after us, Cliff Cardinal will also be performing. And it promises to be just a really fun night filled with laughter. And tears.
Oh.
And possibly screaming. If you reveal something from my childhood that I am not ready for the public to know.
Oh, I'm excited now.
I will throw a chair across the stage.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We'll make it real dramatic.
Oh, okay.
We'll make it like a Tennessee
Williams
play.
It'll be wonderful to be on stage with you again.
That's right. We haven't shared the stage in quite some time.
Yes.
And that will be a lot of fun. We used to share the stage a little bit more back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'd like to do it again.
Absolutely.
Even
and
after
we will.
this. Even
Fine.
This.
I guess.
Yes.
We can do that.
The pressure's on.
Thank you very much. There's not enough as it is. NACC.ca for tickets this Friday, 7:30. Hope to see you all there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mom, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Ollie.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
As you know, I am running for Deputy MLA of the entire city of Yellowknife. I want to be that 20th MLA or the 19th MLA. I can't remember which number it is. Just if someone goes down, is sick, is, traveling extensively on the taxpayer dollar, I want to be there to fill that seat. Basically like a seat filler at the Oscars, except I'll have some sort of power. I'll float questions. I'll put ideas out there. Any ideas you have for me, you let me know. Jesse at cabinradio.ca or 867-675-0100. I want to hear from you. I have no ideas of my own. I have no platform. I want you to be my platform. You should do that. I'm just saying. All right. And now we saw in the news, cabinradio.ca, and we've heard in the news all morning from Ollie that, and a stunning upset, no one has defaced any YK election signs as of yet. In the first 2 weeks of last year's elections, some were defaced. And some people took it with good nature and good humor and made something out of it. It's still not great to see people vandalize these signs. People spend a lot of money and put up and a lot of time putting these things up. So it's not nice to see them defaced. I'm not encouraging anyone to do it. What I will say is that when my signs go up, inevitably, they will be pre-defaced. That's right. I am committing to vandalizing my own signs before anyone else has a chance to. In fact, that will be the thrust of my entire career as a politician in this territory. I will get out ahead of the problem, and I will cause it before it actually becomes one. So the GNWT has no plans until 2030. I'm going to get out in front of that. I have no plan right now. I don't know how we're going to make it out of this decade, which is coming up very quickly. We got about just over 3 months left in this decade. So I don't have a plan for the next 3 months. And that is, more efficient than not having a plan for 2030. Just saying, I'm going to get there first. Please support my campaign. Any money that you have in your pockets would be fine. Oh, wait, that's illegal, right? I'm not allowed to ask for people for money. Is that right? I don't know. Ollie, he can't hear me. He is my, I don't want to say campaign manager, but is the brains behind the brain trust, I think. Lecter, Ollie, are the Wheeler Campaign Brain Trust. You'll see signs very soon, pre-defaced. Actually, some will be pre-defaced, others not defaced at all, but will have markers attached to them. I want to see your creativity, Yellowknife. I want to see how badly you can make my signs look. I'm not encouraging you to do it on anybody else's. That's why I'm putting mine up, so you can deface mine as much as you want. Please, no swastikas. And no fat jokes. Some fat jokes, but only on mine. For goodness sake.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.